So he started serving Bufo, and he is the person that served me Bufo for the first time. What is Bufo? It is a secretion from the Sonoran desert toad that contains the molecule 5-MeO-DMT. It attaches to your serotonin receptor, your 1A receptor. Most of the psychedelics that we know attach more to your 2A receptors, and 5-MeO-DMT attaches more to your 1A receptors. But like a lot of these other medicines, they perfectly mimic serotonin and can attach to your brain and do absolutely wonderful things. They can obviously be harmful as well if they're not treated with respect and with wisdom and knowledge that's passed down by indigenous peoples. My first experience when I was served, I was definitely nervous. I talked to Dr. John a little bit about my previous experiences, and then we entered the space. We had beautiful music playing, and you have to have other people with you. You can't do this alone because you can't even hold the pipe. Someone else has to hold the pipe and light it for you, because by the time you're exhaling, you're being laid back down by the space holders and the supporters, and you're out. You enter a state of non-duality, which is a really hard state to explain, but basically there's always a you and it. There's always me and something else outside of me. Dark and light, bad and good. We live in a duality, a dualistic world, and what makes it really hard to explain is our language is also dualistic, so it's very hard to explain. But I entered that state for the first time, and it was after my wife said I was going to be taking a 15-minute nap. I 100% thought I was dead. I thought I reached this absolutely incredible heaven beyond what I could have ever imagined. It was way too immense, way too beautiful, way too saturated with love, and it was like everything. People call 5-MeO-DMT the God molecule, so a lot of people say it's experiencing God. Experiencing everything. So I was a little bit panicked. I remember coming to a little bit, and I started hearing voices, and I was like, am I okay? Am I dead? Am I dead? And I was freaked out a little bit, and I had the most gentle, sweet voices saying, you're doing a good job. And that was the most beautiful thing to hear. And then I just felt this vibration throughout my body and throughout everything that was connected to everything. And then I just laid there in bliss for maybe 10-15 minutes after that. And yeah, it was one of the most incredible experiences I've ever had in my life. So that was my first time. It was just a lot to take in. It's basically a little bit of ontological shock. It kind of bursts open your worldview. So I dealt with that, and then I dove into the research. So I was watching as many videos as I could, listening to as many neuroscientists talk about how it affected your brain specifically. Because I did have an addiction to alcohol, I realized that I could definitely use this, take advantage of the neuroplasticity. So I could use this medicine to kind of give me my final goodbye to alcohol. So it was a couple months that went by, and I decided to try this medicine again. I was a little more prepared. I had more understanding. I definitely had respect for the medicine. And this situation was a little bit different. There was about 8 of us in the room. My wife was nominated to go first because she's known to be super peaceful and beautiful and just lay there like an angel. Other people will roll around and scream, and it can be terrifying. So the newbies will definitely not want to experience that after seeing that. So Candace was a great first example. She went first, and I took a couple of meditative puffs, some smaller doses throughout the evening as these people went, and then I had my big dose to where, I inhaled enough, and I get laid down, and I just woke up, and I had a smile on my face. I started touching the fur that I was laying on, and I was again in that super bliss state, and that's when I just knew my addiction was gone. And that was a year and a half ago. So yeah, it was one of the best tools, a tool that should absolutely be available for people. And that's why we're doing this, is to tell these stories and make sure people know that these medicines are available. How's that?
That was great.
Okay.